brought to you by Big Hair. Don't I have big hair? Did you know that my progressed son's in Leo now? Okay, everybody, wake up. Debra's here.
We are live.
Are we live?
Yes, we are officially.
Okay. So, you guys, today we're having a really fun conversation. And I don't know if you know this, I can't see the little love hearts that go by and the planets that float in the sky. None of us can see at night those planets, but I know you're there. And I know that there's love hearts. You have to tell me, Carrie, when they go, hi, Deb, because I want to make sure that I'm sending my love. It's a Facebook Live. It's a full moon today. It's a beautiful Mercury retrograde. Let's say something nice about Mercury retrograde. It means we get to slow down and take our time. And that's what we're going to do this morning. So it is the early part of Monday afternoon. We've just started. What is the date today? December the
4th.
4th, December the 4th. The moon's in Gemini still. Is that true, Carrie? I think it is.
And I think so. I'll look it up.
And the sun's in Sag. We're in a full moon. The sun and moon are opposite. I just did a radio show with Dr. Pat. That was so much fun because it was so much fun. She didn't know how accurate astrology was, quite hands-on. And so I started the session. And just so you know, her progressed moon was changing out of one sign to another. And so I asked her what happened 2.5 years earlier. And she had this wonderful story of what just happened. So, and my progressed sun just entered Leo about 2 months ago. It takes 1 degree a year for your progressed sun to move. It's an indicator. It's very advanced. So I don't want you to feel lost. I really want to simplify this so that you can just know that the simple answer is, oh, the moon's at 29 degrees of Gemini. We're at the very last seconds of the moon being full in Gemini. It's going to enter Cancer while we're talking. Oh, I love the moon in Gemini. Perfect timing, Carrie. We're talking during the moon in Gemini. So the progressed sun and moon and rising sign are clues about the movement and the evolution of your soul based on your chart. It describes when there's it's so subtle. And I don't want to go into detail now because we're talking about Jupiter today. And we're going through all the planets on this series that we're doing with Facebook Live. But I want you to know that your chart evolves. And even though you were born as an Aries, let's say you were 1 degree of Aries when you were born, 29, because it moves 1 degree a year, 29 years later, you would turn into a Taurus. So on your 29th birthday, your progressed sun would be a Taurus. And then from your 29th birthday to your 59th birthday, you'd be a Taurus. And when you turned 59, you would turn into a Gemini. Well, that's what just happened to me. So for the last 29 years, I was a Cancer because I was born very early degree of Gemini. So I was a Cancer for 29 years. How could that be? That's interesting. Anyway, the short answer is I turned into a Leo a couple months ago, my progressed sun, and look at my hair. It's like wild. Okay, let's talk about Jupiter. Enough about you and me and the stars. Let's go straight to the topic at hand. This is a planet that really has a great influence. And any of you that are interested in taking my early bird class on astrology, I did a series for the early bird people that are interested in studying with me, a free series where I went into depth on Jupiter, Mars, and
an overview of the 10 planets.
Thanks. I did an overview of the 10 planets. Carrie, what do we do when you're not around? So I just want to let you know that if you're interested in studying with me, because the cart opens in January 24th and the school opens in February, right now you can get on the early bird list. And how would they do that, Carrie?
I just put a link to get on the list in the comments.
And then you get a series of free videos about the 10 planets. And it's just me teaching a little more than today on Facebook Live. Today, I'm going to give you the short, like Prel concentrated dabble do ya version. But in that series, I still tease you. And then in the class, you go deep. So Jupiter, I want you to think about Jupiter. Jupiter is fat and big. It's 300 times the size of Earth. You know how big that full moon looked, that super moon that was bigger than it is? It's a super moon. It happens once a year where the moon looks so big by the reflection and it's 7% brighter and it's this big giant super moon. Well, Jupiter is huge. Like they used to say it was 1,000 times the size of Earth, which still means nothing because now it's 300 times. But in any case, and there's 16 moons going around it. Woo! So Jupiter is fat, it's big, it's the jolly green giant. Ho, 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 green giant. I'm timing myself. First, I'm talking about Pearl concentrate, and now I'm talking about. You probably don't know. Did you know him, Carrie? Ho, 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 green giant.
No.
See, it's because I'm old. The point of the story is Jupiter's big, very, very large, and it rules joy. It's the planet that brought to us benevolence and kindness. I want you to think about, like, if you had a grandpa that you loved, or you had an uncle that was really kind to you, or it's because I think of it as a male. It doesn't have to be male. Why are we so stuck on that? Think of it as a very large being who is bouncy and bubbly and has pillows all around him. And when you come to see him, you just lean in and he gives you a hug, and then you go gamble with him and you win. It's that feeling that you get when you finish gambling and you like, ching, boom, and you're like, oh my God, that was so fun. Or like going on a roller coaster. Jupiter rules entertainment. When you finish the film, like you just finished seeing The Wizard of Oz and you were like captured, and you feel this feeling of, it's more like seeing Mary Poppins for the first time, or seeing The Sound of Music, and you're just like jovial, or you just finished a meal. It's like after you finish Thanksgiving and you're sitting with your family, or what I just had in the last few weeks, like you're with your family and you sat at the table and you listened to them talk, and then they did the dishes and they went shopping and they did all the cooking. That's your imaginary life, Debra. That didn't happen. But it's where you're feeling so full, like you just finished eating and you just finished making love and you just got proposed to. Jupiter is the planet of joy and luck and fun and happy and pleasure and anything to do with the parts of this life that make you feel outrageously exuberant. So now we're going to talk specifically about what in your life brings you joy. And it's so strange because, for example, I have Jupiter in Virgo, which is ridiculous because Jupiter's big and expansive, and Virgo's all about details and windows and cleaning them and dusting them and spraying with a clean little sponge. But I love that. Well, I don't love doing it, but I love walking into a clean house. Jupiter in Virgo. I love precision. I love accuracy. That's why I love astrology so much. So I want you to think about where in your life, before we get to your Jupiter, because you're probably beginners, and what astrology tells us. I just did this in this radio show today. What astrology tells us is your natural taste buds. Like what ignites you, what excites you, what makes you have that feeling of fulfillment. Is it listening to music? Is it playing music? Is it writing a poem? Is it cleaning? Is it cooking? Like astrology names all the different arenas in life that are part of the archetype of being human. And then you pull Jupiter out as an isolated one planet, which is what we've been doing in the series, and you identify where your greatest joy comes from. You put it first in the element. So as you beginners, here's how simple it gets. That's why you want to read my book, The Missing Element. Because if you just know what elements are, as a beginner, just go get the book, The Missing Element, and read about the 4 elements. So if I say to you, your Jupiter is in water, you'll have a whole story before you even know the sign. So first we pay attention to the element. Then we pay attention to what sign it's in. If Jupiter's in that sign, it's going to mean you're going to get excited about that flavor, that context. Then we put it in a house, and that's where astrology gets a little more intricate. What house it's in tells us where in the arena in your life is going to show up. So we have the element, we have the sign, and we have the house. And those 3 pieces of information will give me the clue of where you get your rocks off. Ugh, that sounded terrible. Where you have joy, where you have fun, where you light up, where you get super excited, where you overindulge, where you don't have an off button. Think of Jupiter as the reason why he's fat is because this life, you should be fat at some point in your life. Everybody at some point in their life should be fat. You should have the experience of eating too much and feeling so full at the end and realizing that your second chakra, your emotional body is way too open and you're indulging because you're feeling emotional. Most people that have a tummy, especially women, or they're overweight, it's because some part of you doesn't know how to stay sober or minimal or pristine in that kind of aesthetic. The opposite of Jupiter, you guys, is Saturn. Saturn is the athlete who trains and only eats this and only eats that and stays inside their diet. Jupiter's like, if you're not coming down to this planet to have fun, then go home, which is not this planet. So Jupiter's all about the indulger, the overweight, the playful, the no off button, spending, gambling. That's all it is. And I can tell where someone's Jupiter is, the level of their exuberance. So I just had a client today who had Jupiter conjunct Mercury. Well, I immediately knew, and this is very much part of what the outline was that my friend Carrie sent me, because I had an example of somebody with this. It's raged for the last 350 years. What does that mean? Well, there's been a storm on it. Is that, Carrie, true?
Yep, that's what I learned.
Tell me about it.
I don't know much about it other than what I sent you, just that there's been a storm there for like as long as we've been able to observe it. So
it's a storm of joy. It's an exuberant storm. For 350 years, there's been a storm. And it's 2.5 times more massive than all the other planets in the solar system combined. So you put all the planets together once, twice, and you've got the size of it. It's made primarily of gases. They fart a lot. That's what you do when you eat too much. And the theme is fat, indulging, fun, and gambling. So let me give you an example of Mercury conjunct Jupiter. There was such a great example today. So let's say you have it. Jupiter was in Cancer in 1950, I want to say 53. So let's say you had Jupiter, you were a Cancer, and you had Jupiter conjunct your Mercury in Cancer. That's just a random example. And how can you find that out, beginners? Here's how you find, let me just back up for a minute before I go too fast. Astro.com, free site. On the top of the page, it says free horoscopes. Click. On the top of the page in the left-hand corner, it says free chart drawings. Click. That's how simple it is. Up comes, you put your sun, your birth date, Sunday, the birth date of your birth, the time and the place, and you click continue, up comes your chart. On the left is a little box in blue in English with symbols, and it will say Mercury and Venus and the sun, and then you'll go and look at Jupiter, and it will say Jupiter in the sign in English, and then you'll Google what element is that sign, and immediately you're going to know Jupiter's in the right element to describe your personality, and then you go get my book. Or it'll say Jupiter's in Cancer, the example I gave, and then you'll go read about Cancer and you'll go, oh, if Jupiter's there, that's where your fun factor is. That's the short thing you can write down. If you want to know your fun factor, what gives you pleasure in this life? What makes you light up like a Christmas tree? What turns you on like a radio? What makes you happy for no reason? What makes you giggle and think you're fat and silly and you don't mind? It's Jupiter. So you find out where your Jupiter is. You find out first what sign it's in. It looks like a number 4. Because why? Because think of it as 4 times bigger. It's 3.5 times bigger than all the planets put together. But just think 4. Just round it off. So it's a number 4. It symbolizes joy, fat, enjoyment, happy, joyous, traveling, spending, education, higher education, anything to do with, oh my God, I'm having so much fun learning so much. Oh my God, I'm eating so much. Oh my God, I'm traveling so much. Oh my God, I'm having so much fun, according to you. And then you'll figure that out. You got it? Go find your Jupiter, what element, what sign, and then the last thing you'll do is you'll look around that circle, the numbers in the middle, and you'll say, what house is my Jupiter in? And you'll write down the house, and then you'll Google Jupiter in the 5th house. You with me? Back to the storyline. So if you're Jupiter, we're going to go through them very quickly because I'm just teasing you to come study with me because I'm in love with astrology and I want you to fall in love with you. And you can't have a lifetime, no matter how much your husband loves you or how much you love your kid or the dog. You can't be left out. You got to look in the mirror and go, I love you. Jupiter's taken me over and I want to celebrate you. And so today I'm going to take you out for coconut cream pie. I never do that. I should do that myself. Or today I'm going to take you out for a ginger snap. And the healthiest thing I can think of, and we're going to have 2 of them because we're going to feel so good. I've got this new thing I found called meringue. Is that what it's called? It's this green juice that comes from a plant that makes you go, whoa, it has been helping me so much. Meringue? Hopefully that's right. Jupiter makes you want to have fun either in being healthy. Mine's in Virgo, so I love being healthy. Yours might be in Virgo. I mean, yours might be in Pisces and you love being high. Okay, Jupiter in Aries. You came in, this, I know what year this happened in. This was in 1950, and then it was 62, and then it was 74, and then it was 86. How come I know that? I don't know. So Jupiter in Aries, you are so physical. You're athletic. You have chi. You love being physical. It's fun for you to exercise. Some people watching this hate exercising, you Pisces. They don't like it. Or you, who else hates exercise? Or you Taurus. They don't want to do it. Or you, Cancers love it. Don't be surprised if I tell you Cancers love it. Or if you're a Scorpio, you kind of like it. But if you have Jupiter in Aries, you're like, woo! If your Jupiter's in Taurus, what does it mean? It means that you love sensual pleasure. I love seeing Jupiter in Taurus. I can even tell you when that happened. Well, if it happened, if 1950, so it's probably 1951. Nope, that's not true. You'll go figure it out. Oh, how smart, Carrie. You got all the answers. Yours is Jupiter in Taurus, 1988?
Yep.
Oh my God, Carrie. That's such a great one. That means that you love to work. That's why I hired you, Carrie. They love to work. You get off on results so long as no one pushes you. Don't tell Carrie to do too much, right, Carrie?
Right.
Jupiter and Taurus, you love to kiss. Chocolate. Secret sauce. You love sensual pleasures. Jupiter and Taurus, you love music. Taurus rules music. You love just loyal people like me, because I love you, Carrie. If Jupiter's in Gemini, this is like so obvious. You have a fascination with books, going to the library, being in bookstores. You have a total delight. What year would that be? Jupiter in Gemini. Judy had it 1945. So that would be 45 plus 12 is 57. That's not true. Jupiter was in Libra in 58. Sometimes it varies a little bit. And then it would be 70. Jupiter was in Libra, and then 82, and then 94. Yep, that's true. 93 Jupiter was in Libra. So these are people that, that's wrong. Don't listen to me, give you the years. Just go figure it out. Jupiter in Gemini. They love to talk, they love to think, they love to make up shit. They have such a fun personality. Jupiter in Gemini is like one of the best placements. It's a real delight in learning and studying. And boy, should you be taking astrology classes? Yes. Jupiter in Cancer. Now I know that happened in 1953. Jupiter in Cancer, you love your home. You love being a mom. It's the most natural thing for you to cook. And you like to exercise. Surprise. Jupiter in Cancer, you love being with your family on your terms. You love being alone. Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter in Leo. These people are such great dressers. Jupiter and Leo, they love to go shopping. Even if they're a shy little Taurus. Can you see how astrology works? You take one piece out of the puzzle like we're doing, and you isolate it from the rest of your chart, and it still works. Jupiter and Leo, a bit of a show off, a definite joy machine. They really want to have fun in this life. Jupiter and Virgo, mine, they have a gift for precision. Like it's fun for me to work on precision, even though I can't get the numbers right about these years. It's bugging me. See, that's what it is. Whatever your Jupiter's in, like Carrie, for you, Jupiter and Taurus, you need security. Like it gives you great pleasure to know you're safe. They'll save money, Jupiter and Taurus. Jupiter and Virgo, they need to know where the cleaning supplies are. Doesn't mean they're going to clean, but they just need, Jupiter and Virgo needs the structure of their world to be service oriented. Very strong desire, Jupiter and Virgo, for service. All the kids I grew up with. Jupiter and Libra, so good at relationship, so good at partnership, so delighting in people. Jupiter and Libra, they just love people. And they have a natural gift for artists. If you have Jupiter and Libra, your house decorating is one of your natural gifts. If your Jupiter's in Virgo, you're really good at details. If your Jupiter's in Leo, you're in love with love. Jupiter's in Cancer, you play house. Jupiter's in Gemini, you talk effortlessly. Jupiter in Taurus, secret sauce, Carrie. Jupiter in Aries, let's go. Woo! Jupiter in Scorpio, let's guess. These people, even like I know a client right now, she has her boyfriend with Jupiter and Scorpio. Even though he's a Virgo, he will be interested psychologically. He delights in the opportunity to talk about psychology, even though he's a normal Virgo. Jupiter in Sag. Jupiter in Scorpio also is very good with money, very good at banking and inheriting. And they have a natural gift at power, Jupiter in Scorpio. Jupiter in Sag is its natural placement. Ready, you guys? Every sign has a planet where it's naturally fitting because they assigned the planets with the sign. So Jupiter in Sag. This is what Michelle Cromer has if she's listening. This is like the best placement ever. You're lucky, you're joyful, you're philosophical, you're having fun for no reason. You have one-liners that fall out of your mouth like soap out of a soap dish. Falls out of your mouth like rain does from the sky. So poetic. Jupiter in Sag is a very easy traveler. They travel like it's nothing. And they have to have fun in their life. Jupiter in Capricorn. I love this one. This is the workaholic who they so love getting things done. And they so love making money. I love Jupiter in Capricorn. You just never have to look back because their joy is work. And their joy is quality control. And spending money is really fun for Jupiter and Cap. They're really good gamblers because they're conservative, but they're joyful around. And if they like you, they're super generous. Jupiter Aquarius is just the wildest thing. 1923, my mom had this. They're crazy. Like they love woo, they love astrology. As soon as I see Jupiter in Aquarius, I go, can you come study with me? You love this stuff. And then Jupiter in Pisces is exalted. Why? Well, Jupiter in Aquarius is more like they love to be in the study and the pursuit of anything that's abstract, from astrology to numerology to science. But Jupiter in Aquarius has a need for linear. Jupiter in Pisces love magic. And their big thing is dead people and believing in the invisible world. It's exalted. It means you've got guardian angels. Jupiter in Pisces means that now if you have Jupiter in the 12th house, it's also true. That's a little aside for you advanced students. But Jupiter in Pisces describes someone that's got a lot of guardians, a lot of protectors. So wherever that was just the signs. We're not going to go through all the houses, or should we? Yes, let's go through the houses. Jupiter in the first house is a very lucky physical body constitution. Jupiter in the second house, you spend money the fast as you make it. Jupiter in the third house, you should be reading books a lot and playing with your sisters and brothers. Jupiter in the fourth house, you probably like real estate and you want to buy and sell or redo your house. Jupiter in the fifth, boy, did you get to that? My son has this. You fell in love. You got the love card this life. Jupiter in the sixth house, you are built for work. Jupiter in the seventh house, relationships could be marriage more than once. Jupiter in the sixth. Jupiter in the seventh house, yes. Jupiter in the eighth house, that's inheritance of other people's money. Jupiter in the ninth house, oh my God, you're a natural born philosophical crazy. Jupiter in the 10th, Michelle Cromer, your career, you were so successful at your work at a young age. You got the lucky card. You were born under a lucky star with Jupiter in the 10th. Because Jupiter is on the top of the sky when you're born in the 10th house. Jupiter in the 11th house, me, I just love groups of people and being able to help them. It's so easy for me, and being able to play with astrology. 11th house rules astrology. Jupiter is my planet of luck. In the sign of Virgo, I'm a precise astrologer. Somebody once told me that I was mediocre. Did I ever tell you that story, Carrie?
No.
So remember, Sarah was just moving into my house. Sarah, I met as a reading. She became my daughter. She now lives down the block and moved here. And I seem to have this effect on millennials. So she was moving into she came for her first reading. I invited her to move in because just coincidentally that day I'd gotten notice, because people stay and live downstairs. It's an independent suite. They'd been living down there and they were just moving out. So I asked her, and sure enough, she said yes. But she met somebody who knew me, and this woman told her that she shouldn't move in with me because I was ready. I was a cold, how do you say, the cold queen of like who's the cold queen? Like when the woman's really cold.
Like an ice queen?
I was an ice queen. I was very selfish. I overstated my kid. He was just an ordinary kid, but I made it look like he was so special. He wasn't. I was a mediocre astrologer. And I was very selfish and never shared with people. So she moved in, and I started bringing her dinner, and I started inviting her, and I just fell in love with her. And she was scared. And then one day she was downstairs, and she said, she was crying. She was like, "Can I talk to you?" And then I said, "What?" She was like, "You won't believe what this woman told me about you, and you're not doing anything she said, and it's really confusing me." And I was scared to move in. And that was, why did I tell you that story? Oh, because I have Jupiter in the 11th house in Virgo, and I love to serve people, and I love to do it in a big way. I just love service. Jupiter, the planet of joy, in the house sign of service, Virgo, in the 11th house of just anybody can come over. Isn't that a funny story? I'm a mediocre astrologer. I've got Jupiter in the 11th house in Virgo. I'm a detailist. My Jupiter loves details in the 11th house. I want my astrology to be accurate or it drives me nuts. Like all those dates I just gave you. You know what we need to have next time is a list that we can share with people where is Jupiter and what year. But you guys can go look it up. And Jupiter in the 12th house, you came with guardian angels. No matter what sign it's in, if your Jupiter's in the 12th house, you scored. You have angels. Okay, there you have it. Half an hour by Debra Silverman.
I love that. Before we leave, we had one question come in about how is Jupiter being impacted by Scorpio? So can you talk a little bit about Jupiter and Scorpio and then also transiting just in general?
Yes. Great question. Okay. So first of all, Jupiter entered Scorpio. I want to say it was 6 weeks ago, but Carrie, you could correct me. I think it was in the middle to the end of October. First time in 12 years, Jupiter just entered Scorpio. As soon as it entered Scorpio, Jupiter, the planet of joy and luck and loud and fat and ho, ho, ho and blunt and all that, in the sign of Scorpio, sexuality and secrets, all these secrets came out about this abuse and about men and their power and the button underneath their desk, Matt Lauer, that allowed the door to be locked when someone came into his room. Jupiter and Scorpio. By the way, he had a lot of planets in the 8th house of Scorpio. So Jupiter and Scorpio is affecting the collective by letting secrets come out, as in what happened today with the FBI. The transiting Jupiter going through all of your houses, you can go look. What house is, where do you have Scorpio? What house do you have Scorpio in your chart? What house is Jupiter in right now? Like it's in my house of money. And that's going to explain a whole year of expansion in that house. Did that make sense? Wherever Jupiter's transiting, whatever house it's going through, you're in a very lucky cycle. Debra Silverman brings you English and Astrology 101.
And what about a Jupiter return?
Once every 12 years, Jupiter returns. When you're 12, when you're 24, when you're 48, when you're 36, when you're 52, you do the math. When Jupiter returns, I tell people, go gamble. It's such a great time. You're going to have fun. It's a great time to travel. It's a great time to make a plan to go be with your favorite people and to spend money and to go buy presents. Such a Leo. I'm fixing my hair. Yes?
Diana wants to know if Jupiter is 0 degrees, is that bad or good?
There's no good or bad. God wasn't having a bad day when she made you, even though I'm having a bad hair day. It was not a bad day when she made you. It just means you're between two signs. 0 degrees only happens very short. There's 29 degrees to a sign. So if you're 1 degree of the sign, it's just entered. If you're 29 degrees of the sign, you're fully that. You're not a new sign. But at 0, you're between the signs, and it only lasts for a few hours. So you do really include, I always think of it as it's a 2 doors. One house, the door opens at 29 degrees, and the other house, it opens at 1 degree, but at 0 degrees, you're between these, like a wind channel, like you're in the wind breeze. So you're still bringing the other sign in, you're bringing the other side in, and Jupiter describes the mixture of those total flavors. So you could be bringing in both signs. You might want to read about both of them. That's the short answer.
Cool. Well, I think that's all the questions, but just to circle back around, Jupiter entered Scorpio on October 11th.
I was right. In the middle of October. It's been about 2 months. October to November. Yeah, 2 months for the first time in 12 years, Jupiter's in. So all you Scorpios, yes, go for it. Take a risk. Expand. Just don't spend too much money. During Jupiter cycles, I always tell people during Jupiter return, make a dream board. Go figure out a way that you can dream big, because Jupiter's asking you to think big, fat. You know that one story I think I told you, Carrie, when Jupiter went over my midheaven? It was about 5 summers ago, Jupiter was in Cancer at 29 degrees. It went over my midheaven. And during the week it went over my midheaven, which is the point of your career. It describes what you do for work. An advertising agency hired me to come work with them in Vegas. It was a very big expansion for my career. I had my own cinematographer and my own IT person and somebody doing the website and my own secretary and my own financial person. Was incredible when Jupiter went over my midheaven. And then the crazy thing was I had 1 million hits in 1 month when Jupiter, the planet of luck, hit my midheaven. And all those videos I have on YouTube, if you guys haven't seen my YouTube videos, there are about 300,000 hits for each sign. If you just put in Debra Silverman in the name of your sign, you'll see this funny little video. They're really funny. And in 1 month, I had 1 million hits when Jupiter hit my career. 1 month. That cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love those stories. Okay. Anything else, Miss Carrie Morley?
I think that's it. I put the link to the Applied Astrology waitlist in the comments. So if you're interested in learning more about your chart, make sure that you put your information in there.
And if you want to learn astrology, just off the top, the Star Community is always available. thestarcommunity.com. You can be a member for $22 a month. You can learn. But the school is obviously, this is much more depthy. You're not going to learn about Jupiter in the Star Community, but you'll learn about where the moon is. Every day, I tell you where the moon is. Moon, come here.
All right, awesome. Well, we got lots of hearts today, so I know that everybody loved this one.
Tell me. I got hearts.
Lots of hearts.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Love, love, love. All the way from Colorado.